Russell viewed in your locker room? What's the story?
Well, let's open up with this first and foremost. What quarterback in the NFL gets treated like any other player, any other 52 players on the team?
Zero.
Exactly. So that's first and foremost.
Okay.
I think guys had a problem with that, but from high school on up, the quarterback has never been treated the same. They always had a different way of going about things. But as far as for Russ, he was a great guy in the locker room. You know, he wasn't in there as much because he's studying. He's doing all these different things that other players don't have to do. You know, Russ is a great teammate. He's always been there for everybody. It's just the fact that we just had a bunch of alpha males on our team, vocal guys that kind of spoke their minds, and they just felt like they should have got treated the same way as him. But that's not, I mean, that's no different from any other organization.
Those alpha males, starting with Richard Sherman.
That's your guy.
Michael Bennett. Who else?
I mean, we got a bunch of vocal guys, Michael Bennett, Sherm. I mean, we had Earl, Cam. All these guys are just leaders in their own way. And some guys may have felt as if that they should have gotten treated like the quarterback. And again, no one gets treated
But the
like the
flashpoint was obviously the play call on that play in that Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. And it appeared, I think, to many in your locker room that Pete Carroll took the ball out of Beast Mode's hands and put it in Russell's because he wanted Russell to cap off an MVP performance. Did you hear much of that? We
heard that with the media in general, right? And I've heard that the last 4 or 5 years. But I think the big thing, as I sit back and look at it, I'm thinking, like, would Coach Carroll really risk having 2 Super Bowl rings for the luxury of just saying, hey, we want Russell to be the MVP? I don't know if that's really the case, personally. Now, through the years, I may have thought that because I was hearing it from so many different angles. But as I sit back and think about it, I don't think that would have been, like, that doesn't make any sense for me to think that he would do that, especially knowing the type of person Coach Carroll is.
Did you agree with the play call?
Did I agree with the play call? I'm with the rest of the world. I mean, I questioned it for sure. But now, that being said, too, I've also seen that same play work through that year. And he had a reason why he called it, you know? But I definitely questioned it at the moment, for sure.
And by the way, Marshawn had tried 5 times from the 1-yard line in the regular season and been stuffed 4 times out of 5.
There you have it. Okay? So there was something there. And again, hindsight, looking at it, I am saying that I've seen that play call work that year.
The pass play call.
Yeah, I've seen that work that year. To Lockett, yes. I've seen it work that year.
Who was a bigger receiver, wasn't he 6'2"-ish or
6'2", 6'3", big guy.
Yeah.
I've seen that play work before. And then now you bring that stat up with Marshawn getting stopped on the 1. Maybe that's part of the reason why he called it. You know, but at the moment, of course, you questioning that.
But what about in that situation? You're at the 1-yard line. You have 1 timeout, 1:30. It's 2nd down. If you don't get it on 2nd down, you get an opportunity to throw the pass on 3rd down.
Sure.
Clearly on 4th down, you're going for it. Why not? Beast Mode had just run it down to the 1-yard line. He was beasting all day.
Yeah. Why not give it to him?
Yeah.
Hey, again, he got stopped 4 times in the year. You know, he's successful 1 out of 4 and 1 out of 5 times. So that probably played a role in the play call. Again, hindsight, when I'm at the game, I'm like, we got to give it to Beast Mode. We got to why didn't we give it to Beast Mode? And then you sit back and you think about it, that's why they pay the coaches so much money, right? They know these stats. Players don't know these stats. And that's why he made that call.
What was it like the day after? When you wake up the next morning and you realize that you have lost this game after winning it the year before and the fashion in which you lost the game. What was it like that?
Oh, man, it's hard. You know, you look at your finger, you're like, man, I sure wish I had another ring on my finger, you know? It's tough, but at the same time, too, I'm like, man, we got a great squad. We can bring it back. We're all young. We thought we could make it happen again. That's
you knew it was never going to be the same. You know that changed everything.
I didn't know that at that time. I didn't know that. But now, when I look back 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I'm like, man, maybe that did play a part in why things kind of went downhill a little bit.
Because if you...
Yeah, beginning at the end, right?
Yeah, maybe that seems to have been the case. Because every year we were one step less closer to the Super Bowl.
Skip, they had an opportunity to do something. I don't know if anybody... Think about what they would have done. They would have beaten Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in back-to-back Super Bowls.
Oh, man. That'd have been amazing.
And off that momentum, they might have become the first team to win 3 in a row.
That's true. That's true. And these are all things guys think about. Now, that's definitely something we all think about. But also, I got to be grateful for the one that I got.
Right.
Because I know a lot of guys that play 15 years never make it to the Super Bowl, let alone the playoffs.
Right.
You know, so I'm definitely grateful for the one.
Man, this is what you call it. This is a buffet style. Once you get in there, you can't say, well, I'm glad they let me in here. I'm just gonna get a little bit.
But you got to, yeah, I agree.
Eat.
You got to eat.
Well, you there. Get that bowl.
But you got to get there, though.
Yeah, you
and
was
there.
there.
It's a lot of guys that don't get there. You know that, Shannon. You know that.
But
how many players you done played with that ain't never been there?
Yeah, but
great players.
But they didn't get there. You were there. You make that. You have a great, compelling argument if you don't get there. You're in the buffet line. You can't say, man, I'm so glad they let me in the buffet line, so I'm only gonna get a little bit of this. No, you pile it on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You definitely pile it on. You definitely try to get as many as possible.
Yes.
But you got to get to the buffet line.
So why did it all unravel so quickly?
Quickly? I mean, I think we still went on a good run for 5 years. And then, let's be real now, in the NFL, to keep that many guys together for so long is pretty much impossible. Mm-hmm. You know, our core group of guys on defense, everyone on our defense, for the most part, was a Pro Bowler. You know, to keep that many guys together for so long, that's impressive in itself. So I wouldn't say it unraveled fast or so quickly. It's just that's just the way the NFL rolls.
But what you guys had, you had a veteran ball club and you had a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. You look at what the Rams are doing, you look at what Philly's doing.
Yep.
They put all that talent around them. So you can, but when you look back, you say, man, you could have been special.
Yeah.
Because a lot of teams have won one in a row.
Yeah.
You want to be thought of as special. The teams that went back to back.
For sure.
Those are the teams that become legendary.
Yep.
And that's what you had an opportunity to do. But let me ask you a question. Okay, you guys, I mean, Pete was a guy, I remember him going to one of his practice. Pete would put on shoulder pads and run down there with the kicking team and all that.
No, he didn't do
that. How was his message once that transpired after that Super Bowl?
The message was the same. You know,
How did you guys receive that message?
I received it the same as I always received it. Now, as collectively, looking back on it, I think some guys kind of did get turned off a little bit, you know, and it's inevitable for that not to be the case. But for the most part, though, I think everybody was all in because we had the same group of guys moving forward, and we knew that if we played for each other, we would be able to make things happen. But I can definitely see some guys kind of getting turned off.
Did they trust Pete the same?
Did they trust Pete the same? I think so. I think a lot of guys definitely were bought in because this is the thing, right? Most of the guys were homegrown. Most of the guys from Earl to Cam to Sherm, all these guys were drafted by Pete, right?
Wags.
And Wags, all these guys that we mentioned were all drafted by Pete. And so they've been groomed to process and think this way for so long. So I don't think one play necessarily turned them off as much as people are making it to be.
Although it degenerated to the point that Richard Sherman is yelling at Pete Carroll on the sideline, don't throw it again down there near the goal line.
You will not sacrifice our hard work. You were there. You were there.
At the playoff game?
No,
it was
the regular season.
Against
the
It was
Rams.
like a Monday night.
But see, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. See, people point out certain situations, but that's been the case since I've been there. Like Sherm, all these people, that's part of the culture of just being able to speak your mind. And a game day or not, that's part of the culture. Super Bowl year, Sherm is in the media still doing the same thing. You know, Mike B, all these guys are still doing it. So we got to take the good with the bad. These guys were doing it when we were winning. These guys were doing it when we were losing.
Right.
It's all the same thing. They've been doing that, but obviously when you lose, people point it out a little bit.
Well, that's when it had, because you mentioned, Pete never had a problem with this, someone questioning his authority as long as they're winning.
That's all coaches. That's all coaches. All coaches.
I don't know if I've ever seen a player go up to a head coach during a game. I don't know if I've ever heard of it. It says you will not sacrifice. You will not call that play again. You will not sacrifice.
Who would dare?
I've never heard it. I played 14. How many years you played?
I played 10.
Have you ever heard of that before?
Before getting to Seattle?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever heard of it since?
No.
No.
I don't think you will. Because said player wouldn't last very long.
No. Not football.
But see, the thing is now, all coaches have certain players they let get away with certain things.
Right.
Long as you're winning.
Right.
It's no different from this situation. Long as you're winning, everything is good.
Right.
When you start losing, then hey, we gotta nip some of this stuff in the bud.
Right.
That's the NFL in general, especially quarterbacks. But our team, we had more people that were more vocal. But everyone in the locker room, they get away with certain things long as you're winning.
Just a quick aside. You're not as big as I thought you were going to be.
I lost a lot of weight, man.
Really?
I lost a lot of weight. I'm down 20 pounds.
So are you really?
Yes, I'm
'Cause
down 20 pounds.
when I would watch you, I would think, this man's a monster. Seriously.
Yeah.
You played big.
So what, you
Thank you.
235, 240?
I'm 240 now. So
Are
yeah,
you
I
really? You don't
yeah.
even look like you look great.
I done slimmed down a little bit, man. You know, hey, the joints feel better, the
Yeah.
back feels better. I had to do it.
Good for you.
And the thing with NFL players is either you blow up or you get skinny.
Right.
I definitely couldn't go the other way. My wife wasn't going for that.
Hey, there are not a lot of old big men.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of old little men.
Yeah, exactly.
So you make a decision to go one way or the other.
Yeah. gotta be
Choose
for
wisely.
You better. You better.
Well, Dak Prescott owes you, right?
Yeah, he owes me a
Oh
little
boy.
something.
Oh
I
boy.
need, I
He
need to
had
holler at
bring
him.
it up.